Welcome everybody to an overview of Season 2 for Dragonheir. We're looking at this banner here. We need to go inside the game and read the detailed information because this banner, if you only read this, it's giving you a lot of misleading information. Get a legendary for every 10 summons. Really? Season 2 introduces double benefit hero banner. Get a legendary hero with every 10 draws. This is not true. Not necessarily a lie, but it is not true. This is not a banner that you're going to have to summon on. It all has to do with getting those tickets at the end of your season, doing those 10 tickets, and then getting a guaranteed legendary early. And these banners are only going to be available for the first couple weeks of the season, and you have to have those tickets. You have to have gold dice. I'll go over the details of that in just a minute when we look inside the game and see the detailed, like the true information of it all. The Blazing Warhorse, we've been able to see this. If you're top 150 at the end of the season, you're going to be able to get him. And you can see that they're adding a new cosmetic feature. We've got the dice already. Now we're going to have a mount. So I'm assuming we're going to have new ways to get mounts throughout the new season, which would be really cool. We've got a whole new world to explore, this underwater world. We're going to see some more pictures of this with some new mechanics that we can't really tell what's going on right now with this dusky tower reflection device, but some kind of device, some kind of new thing that we're going to be able to do. We're going to have all this under the sea stuff along with new mermaids, a lot of new mermaid classes introduced. And it talks about how many new hero classes they're putting in inside the detailed information that we're going to go over to. And it talks about the new artifacts along with this crab here. I thought this crab was really cool and it was going to be the new Vortex boss, but I'm sad to say that I think the old Vortex boss that we're fighting now, that we've been fighting for 90 days, is going to be the same Vortex boss we're going to fight in the next season because it goes with this whole theme of underwater Poseidon mermaids. I think they're going to keep that boss for the next season because this crab is actually another otherworld exploration boss, and they do tell us that when we read over the new information. Here we see the new combination, the new element that we're going to have when we go into the next season, which is really cool to know that we've got lightning and poison together, we've got frost and radiant, and now we've got fire and necrosis, and we're going to do a dedicated video on that tonight. So look for that video after this on what kind of good combinations we're going to use, some theory crafting on some heroes. It's going to be really fun to see what these new elements are. We do have some new debuffs coming in. I'm kind of going over this fast because we're going to read over this in detail. We've got a new burn debuff, a new thunderbolt debuff, and a new ice blast debuff. These two do additional damage for AoE. Like they keep doing additional periodic AoE damage. And this ice blast does something to reset your battle skill. So you can use your battle skill not necessarily over and over, but maybe more often. And then we have a new armor set, which we have the details on those armor sets, and we've got some new artifacts. Inside the game, below your mail, come to this icon and you can read all the details. We also have a server merger for Season 2. And if you're in any of these servers, well, it's going to be a bit different because it's going to be really active in that new server that we're all merging to, because I'm merging right here with CCV with Foundation Interplanar 2. And if you're in Foundation Interplanar 2, let me know down below how active your server's been. Is it a crazy whale server? I don't know. But my server's been pretty nice just being me on it. Now that I'm including all this other server with these other tryhards, it's going to be much more difficult next season. And they kind of talk about that by increasing the number of people that are going to get the mount reward at the end of next season. Instead of being top 150, they're going to make it top 300. And they said they're going to do other things to make it easier for you to compete with all the new players that they're throwing onto these servers, because then it's going to be a very active server. It's not going to be any longer where you're a free-to-play player and you're just blowing everybody up. I don't think it's going to be that easy anymore. Wait to see. But they did say that they want to make sure that they relieve your anxiety here by making things easier, by making, I guess, ranks broader so that we can all get rewards. I hope that's true. Hope that stays true. We'll see when the new season starts. Brand new region that we already looked at. It's the underwater region. So we're going to have this whole underwater landscape that we're going to go through where we do all of our quests. We've got whole new storylines. We've got little mechanics that they talked about in there, but we don't have any details of what those mechanics are yet. We're going to have brand new heroes introduced into the game, which I'm really excited about. 30 new heroes, 17 new legendaries, the 3 new debuffs, the burn debuff where we do additional damage around that player that we have the burn debuff on. It says deals periodic damage to surrounding units. Kind of like we do additional damage when we go into the flame domain. and she blows up and we do damage to everybody that's around you. That's why you spread out in the flame domain. Here though, we put up a debuff on someone and then anybody near them is going to take additional damage. I hope it's strong. Sounds pretty cool. The Thunderbolt is a little bit similar to that, periodic damage to affected units by generating lightning chains. So we'll do like AoE damage and then we'll have these lightning chains to do additional damage. But Ice Blast sounds like the coolest one. When you cast a battle skill, 1 stack of Ice Blast will be consumed to refresh the cooldown of that battle skill. That's going to be really powerful for people like Caramon, who has a really strong battle skill, and then once he kills somebody, he can reset his own battle skill. It's going to be really cool to see how often we can reset our battle skills, and this could be extremely strong. So I hope I get a hero right away that can do this Ice Crystal, and we can start testing this out. Brand new equipment. I'm assuming we're going to have the same older equipment that we have now. Of course, all of our equipment wipes for the new season, but I'm sure we're going to be able to farm those gear sets again because there's not many that they're talking about. Unless they're including a whole lot more that they haven't told us yet, but there are some pretty cool ones right here. The Inventor's Inspiration, whenever you do a battle skill or an ultimate ability, you get a stack of damage. Now we don't know how much damage it's going to be and how many stacks you can get because it says that it goes to an upper limit and that there's a duration to it. We don't know those yet, but I'm assuming that if you can do fast battle skills, fast ultimates, you're going to get some pretty good stacks. With the Curse Gear, the indirect damage done by the wearer ignores a certain % of defense. What is indirect damage? Is that derivative damage? Is that poison damage? I just don't know what indirect damage means here, so we'll have to figure that one out. We've got the Emperor's Might, which sounds extremely strong. The wearer deals increased damage based on the difference value between the wearer's attack and the target's attack, up to a maximum of 50% additional damage, which is crazy because if you are an attack class going up against a tank, they're not going to have high attack. That's great. We do additional damage to them. But what if we go up against a caster, like a healer or a support person who doesn't have high attack? We're going to really tear into them with this additional 50% damage. So I think the Emperor's Might sounds really cool. The Whisper set, whenever you do a debuff, you give everybody else an increased attack. Probably everybody an increased attack, kind of like the current 3-piece we have right now that gives everyone 15% additional when we do our ultimate. But this is every time we apply a debuff. So somebody applying a lot of debuffs can keep this up. It's not going to stack multiple times, it says, but at least we'll be able to keep it up more often. The Blessing set, after casting an ultimate, the wearer heals the ally with the lowest percentage HP. Now, if this is a good heal, this would be a good set to have on a lot of different people because it's very versatile. It's not like the set we have right now. When we do an ultimate, we do 20% of our max HP only on that one hero. This is healing anybody that's low. So this is a lot stronger. So if I had like 3 people with this set on, and they're doing their ultimates, anybody that's low is going to be healed, not just themselves. I doubt it's going to be 20% of max HP, but still, I'm excited to see what that set is about. 14 new artifacts, 3 new exclusive artifacts, probably for some new legendary units they're going to introduce. And then we've got 9 legendary new artifacts and 2 epic artifacts. No new rare artifacts. I'm a little bummed out about that. I hope these 2 epic artifacts are powerful. I'd like to see something with increase crit rate, increase attack, and then also accuracy with that. So I can get my people that do a lot of damage, get them some of that attack or attack percentage or crit rate or critical damage along with the accuracy I need to land debuffs. We've got brand new monsters they're bringing to us for Famiander. We've got a new monster that does a spider swarm, decrease the amount of healing you receive. So maybe instead of Ravatrix every 10 floors, maybe we've got this new mushroom brood mother. And then here's that big automation thing that we saw underneath, that big crab kind of automation guy that I thought that would be replacing the Vortex boss. Apparently, he's just a new otherworld exploration boss. So instead of the big dragon we fight, maybe this is that big guy. I was really hoping he was a new Vortex because I think we did 90 days of Vortex. That was kind of enough. We need a new boss with new mechanics to overcome. I don't feel like 90 more days of a Vortex, even though he really goes with the theme of what this season is, being underwater and the mermaids. I get that, but I think a different underwater kind of thing like that big crab would have been really cool to focus on so we could have some new theory crafting and some new stuff. We've done 90 days of the Vortex already, so it doesn't sound like the Vortex is going to change. It sounds like this big old overheating robotic crab is the one for the Otherworld exploration. All 8 of the dungeons will have brand new skills and mechanics. So we're going to have the same bosses. We're going to have the same harpies, and then we're going to have the same 2 that we have for our runes, and then we've got the domains. That makes 8. So the domains might change up a little bit. I hope they don't make the domains too hard because we need that to rank up our heroes. They're pretty easy once we get strong enough to do all the domains. I like it that way. And then we can make the dungeons where we farm gear, make those kind of the hard places where we really need some really good team comps to go in there and fight that. Here's where we get to that 10 summons for that guaranteed legendary. It is not true what it said on that banner. It is not just, hey, the next season has 10 summons and you get a guaranteed legendary. You've got to end the season strong and get tickets so you can use those tickets to get that early pity system and use them on these banners that will be available for a limited time during the first 10 days of the newest season. If you were able to get 95% of your server, which is pretty easy to do, you're going to get 10 tickets along with 10 dice, which gives you that early pity system. You have to have dice to go with those tickets, and you'll be able to do that at the first 10 days of season 2. So save your gold dice. They're not going to give you a lot of time, it sounds like, to use those tickets along with the gold dice to get these summons. I assume you could still use the tickets after that, right? I don't know if these banners are just specific to giving you a higher chance of getting a legendary, but you have to have the appropriate scrolls that give you the higher chance to get a new legendary to be able to use it on one of these. Come over here to this little spinny thing that looks like a DNA kind of weird spiral. I've got 12 days left. Down there at the bottom right, you can see I'm ranked 44. And then you can see the rewards here for ranking. And these are the scrolls they're talking about for the first 10 days. If you're top 95%, you got 10 scrolls, 10 gold dice. You get a guaranteed early. It's just an early pity. It's a guaranteed legendary, yeah, but you get a guaranteed legendary at 35. This gives you one at 10. Now, what if you get a legendary on the way to opening 10? Do you still get that legendary plus? I don't know, because it says here if you fail to summon. No, you don't. If you fail to summon a legendary, 9 summons on the 10th one is a guaranteed. So it's going to be really weird if you do get a legendary while you're using these, and then you do 10 more, and then I've only got like 20. What am I going to do with the few that I have left over? Can I save them for the next season? And this is the one where you have to get top 20 to get these banners, to where it's the same thing. You get a guaranteed legendary for 10, but you've got a higher probability of getting one of the new legendaries that are introduced. Not many legendaries, new ones are introduced. So you get a higher chance of getting that. Not guaranteed to get it, but a higher chance of getting that. And we'll see all those stats and numbers we should on those banners once we get into the next season. We should see it all. That's the update, everyone. I hope you're excited. Sorry if I rushed through that. We've been talking a lot today on stream. I've been streaming like 9 hours a day. Dragonheir Silent Gods. We've also been jumping into playing some World of Warcraft just today because they had a new kind of different World of Warcraft come out. And there's been hardcore World of Warcraft. Been like 15 years since I played, so I decided to jump on there. We might stream Dragonheir for 3 hours like we do every day, and then go over to play some World of Warcraft now and then. Might have to try that out and see if it grabs me. But man, the graphics are still dated. Gameplay's fine. Graphics are still really, really dated. Let me know what you think about Season 2. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you all in a video soon.